Question. Have you ever looked around at other website designers who are super successful and thought, in order to build a successful business, I need to do exactly what they're doing? Well, that is how past Square Secrets and Square Secrets business student Ayesha felt like. She thought that in order to be successful, she would have to do the marketing strategy that everyone else was doing who was successful. Problem was, she hated doing it. And let's be real, no matter how effective a strategy is, if you hate implementing, it's going to be really hard for you to actually stick with it and therefore find success too. Thankfully, that wasn't the end of the story for Ayesha. In this video, she's going to share with us how she found a marketing strategy that she actually enjoys and loves implementing and therefore is successful for her. She's also going to share how that marketing strategy helped her hit her first 10K month as a web designer.
I have actually had a little bit of an interesting career graph, if you might call it. I actually went to culinary school, so I used to be a pastry chef. And then I realized really quickly that that lifestyle kind of didn't fit. And so I was actually working in a business development and marketing role for a window cleaning company before I started designing websites. Yeah. So I've always had a little creative side hustle, no matter what stage of my life I've been in. I actually started off making planner stickers on Etsy, and then I used to hand make passport covers on Etsy as well. And then I realized I was paying a lot in Etsy fees, and I wanted a website of my own so I could kind of bypass all of those fees. And I really, really enjoyed designing my own website. My website was on Squarespace as well, and I loved how drag and drop and easy to use it was. And so I think I spent more time on my website than actually making products for that period of time. And so I knew it was something that really interested me. It was kind of like a fun, creative thing to do. And that's kind of how I got started. So I really enjoyed building my own website. And then me and my husband took about 6 months to time off to travel. And while we were traveling, I realized that I wanted to pivot into something that gave me that freedom and flexibility, because I was really seeing the value in that, and also something that allowed me to be creative in order for me to enjoy it in the long run. And so when we came back, I remember kind of tinkering with the website I had built, and I kind of got stuck with something, and I Googled it, and that's how I found Paige's blog. And then once you find her blog, it's like you go deep down into a rabbit hole. And so that's kind of how I took the course and got my start there. Yeah. I didn't have experience designing anyone else's website, but as I said, I designed my own website for my little product store. Yes, so I tinkered around with it a little bit, and I wish I had the website to show it to you because it looked like a little bit of a mess. Like, I was super proud of it at that point of time because you don't know what you're doing really, but um, there was a massive difference. I think after I took the course, I I really learned how to streamline my thought process and how to lay it out, um, and then design it according to that. I remember before I took the course, it was just like, what do I think would look nice here? Let's just throw that in. And so I think the course was more, I took both courses. And so I realized that it was more than just a design course. It was also there was strategy in there, which I didn't realize I needed, but I really appreciated. I did my first two websites for free. One was a girl that makes polymer clay earrings, and we'd kind of known each other, so I knew she needed a website, and I just asked. So that was the first one I did for free, and then I reached out to a fashion blogger here in the same city, and asked if she would be open to doing a website. And so those two I did for free because I just kind of I wanted to be able to put my processes in place and feel confident doing it without feeling that pressure of letting someone down. So I just simply just reached out to them and asked, and yeah, they were cool with it. The first paid website I got was pretty quick after that because I had some websites to show. And that was actually through a Facebook group. So just a local Facebook group, someone was asking about anyone that knew website designers, just posted the two websites that I had done before. And that's how I got my first paid website. It was a local small business group here in Calgary. So it was just a bunch of small businesses that are all on the same group. And obviously, everyone has a different business. And someone was just like, are there any website designers in here? I need a new website. And yeah, that's how I got my first website gig. I've also seen a little bit of success with other Facebook groups, and I very intentionally took the path of like, as an example, I'm sure you've heard of Flowdesk, right? So Flowdesk has like a help group on Facebook. It's where even their help team and their support team hangs out. Um, and because I was also new to Flowdesk when it just came out, and I loved the interface, I would just keep my eye out for questions about Squarespace websites on that group. So if I was just like, I'm just going to be super open and generous with the knowledge I have. And if someone had a question, even if I didn't know the answer, I would figure out the answer and post it in the group. And it got to a point where the admin of the group, if someone had a Squarespace question, would just tag me and be like, Ayesha's a Squarespace designer. She knows, she'd probably be able to help you out. And what ended up happening was I ended up chatting with a lot of people, or actually then designing their Flowdesk campaigns and integrating it with Squarespace. So I think that's also do you know what I mean? Like you don't explicitly have to say, I'm a website designer, here's my website design services, but just being generous with the knowledge you have can help you learn new things, and also really connect with people when they need help. I realized early on that cold calling or like cold messaging was not my thing. It gave me severe anxiety and just made me feel really like, yeah, no. Um, and I also did market research early on. So I primarily knew I wanted to work with women entrepreneurs, specifically in like service-based businesses. And so I just hopped on a bunch of market research calls with 5 or 6 people. And every single person I spoke to, when I asked them, like, where would you go to look for a website designer, was saying I would go on Instagram because that's where I hang out. I would either ask someone I know who they've used, or I would go on Instagram. I would never use Google. And so to me, that was kind of like a really light bulb moment, because all that time before that, I thought I would need to really start off working on my SEO, and that was the only way I would find people. And I would have to do this really spammy thing of like messaging people, being like, I think you need a website, which I really didn't want to do. So Instagram for me was somewhere where I could genuinely connect with people. It was easier to have a conversation, and it made me feel like I could do it in a way without putting pressure on the other person as well, while also just being able to be myself, be silly, be goofy, be whatever I wanted, which was really helpful. So I saw a big shift in the growth of my business when I got onto Instagram stories and started showing my face on there. Um, and I just decided to take the marketing route of, I'm just going to be who I want to be, and I will attract the kind of people that want to work with that kind of person, instead of being like, I'm just going to like you know what I mean, like map everything out to the T. That was putting a lot of pressure on me, and I realized I was just ending up not even wanting to do it because it felt like it had to be perfect. So Instagram stories really helped for me. I would just show up on Instagram stories, either do like a short little mini training, really educating whoever was following me about things they could do to tweak their website, or why they needed a certain page, or how to lay things out. And then just ask, like, be like, if you have any other questions, just slide into my DMs and I'm happy to help you out. So just being really generous with my knowledge, just, I don't know, just being myself and knowing that like I would attract the kind of people that would want to work with me because of that, instead of needing to be someone else or like be super professional and like I'm not even gonna like crack a smile because that's how serious I am about this. I just decided if it needed to be sustainable in the long term, I wanted to enjoy it. And a big part of why I got into this was so that I could cheer other women on while they were growing their business, and so I could make those genuine connections. And if I put pressure on every single person who chatted with me to become a client, that wasn't going to be possible. I I've realized that there are two kinds of people that approach me on Instagram. Either it is someone that I've kind of been chatting with. We are Instagram friends now, so we kind of know each other. And then they'll be like, "Hey, I was thinking of doing my website. Can we chat about it?" And so I usually will just chat with them in the DMs, and it's always a no pressure conversation. I At that point of time, I am more interested in finding out if we're a good fit versus being like, tell me what you need and I'll say all the right things to make sure that you hire me. So I really just like chat with them in the DM, make sure that I can actually offer them what they're looking for. And then I move them straight into my client process. So like I'll send them a link to book a discovery call, and we can just go from there. Um, or there's the person that has never chatted with me before, but if they've never chatted with me before they reach out and ask, they've already gone onto my website and looked at my work. Or like before they reach out, if they don't know me, they've already done that legwork. So I just make it super easy for them to find it through Instagram. I make sure that the link in my bio is always updated. It has access to my work, access to my prices, access to like my website really easily. And then I just leave it up to people. I think it gets easier over time. I definitely did deal with imposter syndrome when I was showing up on video. And this is actually the thing that I hear a lot of clients as well say, like, I don't know about video. I'm either too shy or I don't know what to say. Um, I listened to a podcast a while ago, and this is the thing that kind of shifted stuff for me. I used to be worried about, like, I don't know enough, or people are going to be like, she doesn't have a degree in this. How does she know what she's talking about? Um, but and I also remember just always worrying about what people were going to think. And it was never like strangers on the internet. It was always, I was worried about what people who knew me in real life would think of me. It was always like, oh, what's that friend from high school who I don't really talk to, but still follows me on social media? What are they going to think? Who, you know what I mean? Like, and every single person I've talked to is always worried about the people who they know in real life. It's those people. And our brain always goes to like the worst possible outcome, right? So yeah, there was definitely some imposter syndrome, but I think as I started showing up on stories and engaging more and just having those like no pressure conversations, it started to feel like I know these people. Like, these people are friendly. Everyone's really supportive. If anyone snide, just block them. It's not hard. Like, it's not hard to cut someone out of that community. But as you build a community around yourself, you'll find that that confidence starts to come in. Yes, sometimes the confidence has to come in like before the comfort level comes in, but it can be. I think it's such a the connection is so different when you're able to like chat one on one versus, do you know what I mean, like when someone has to read about you somewhere or anything of that sort. So that is definitely there. But I also think if you're on Instagram stories, like engage with people, ask questions, have them respond to you, so you can take the conversation further and it doesn't feel like you're talking into like a black hole where you're like, I don't know, do they like it, do they not? With overcoming imposter syndrome, there's something that is really key, and that's, you want to bring in clients that want to work with you because of who you are. You don't want to have to be a different version of yourself in order to bring in clients, because you're never going to feel comfortable with that. Like, you're always going to feel like the other shoe's about to drop. And so if you can just start off and just be whoever you are, and everybody has quirks. Everybody at some point of time, I don't know, eats banana bread for dinner, or like turns up on Zoom calls with their hair all over the place. Like, everybody has those moments. And the more you can show up as who you are and bring in clients because of it, that confidence factor goes up so much, because then it's like, I don't need to be anyone else. Like, I don't need to do anything specific. I can just be who I am. And that way, you're also bringing in clients that you really enjoy working with, versus it being a very, very, like a really, really cold client partnership. It took me almost exactly a year, almost exactly 1 year. I was matching my, so I I am now full-time in this design business. I just switched from having a full-time job and the side hustle in April. But for about a year, I worked a full-time job and did this on the side. And 6 months in, I was already matching my full-time income. I just wasn't ready to leave because I felt like I was too scared or I wanted a little bit of a buffer. And I really liked what I was doing in my day job. So, yeah, it took me about a year, and I feel like it was like a steady build up to that. I currently offer branding design as well. So, as I started to design websites, I realized that a lot of clients were also struggling in the branding area. And the more I learned and looked into it, I really enjoyed the process of branding and doing a deep dive into their business. Um, and then having that lead into website design. So, I do also offer branding design. I also do speaking engagements off and on. And I also do a workshop called Transform Your Testimonials, which is kind of about how you can really make sure you're getting client testimonials from every single project, use that in your marketing, and have it be like a really streamlined and effective process. I do offer something called VIP Brand Clarity Days, and I started offering them because as I was doing branding design for clients, I realized that a lot of people thought it was just like everybody thought it was just, oh, you'll get a logo and you'll get some colors. And there's so much more below the surface in order for it to be effective in the long term and in order for it to really bring in that confidence that you want to feel for your business. And so through VIP Brand Clarity Days, there's no design involved. It is essentially like a 3-ish hour Zoom call. Um, it's a long chat about your business essentially. So we really do a deep dive into why you started your business, what your story is, why you do what you do, how it can change the lives of your clients. And we're essentially trying to narrow down what the vibe of your brand is and find that sweet spot where you are using that to attract your dream clients, but also you are able to be yourself in your business and attract your dream clients because of it, not in spite of it. So, brand clarity sessions are where we do all of that deep dive work. And then what I offer clients is if you choose to then go forward with a full branding package, which includes the design portion, so we'll design your logo and your colors and all of your market, like anything else, you can actually use the full value of the VIP Clarity Days towards that branding package if you book it within the next 15 days. So if you confirm within the next 15 days, I allow them to use that entire value because it is such a big part of the branding process, that it can be like then it's just the design work that's left out. They would, after we go through our call, I do a full presentation, I put down all of our notes, I give them all of that so that they have it to then use for the future or to use it to create content for marketing and things like that. I winged it when I offered this service. I just saw a need for it, and I've seen it be really effective. So I have had a few branding clients that have gone that route, and then I feel like it helps the client focus on that strategic portion first so they understand why the design is the way it is instead of just really narrowing down that shade of pink I don't really like they understand why we've picked certain things. I definitely think it can work for web designers as well. If it was me, I might offer maybe a website audit, where like you would go through the client's website, you would make really detailed notes about what can be laid out better or what can be changed, and because you're the website designer, you know these things, and you are more familiar with these things than your client is. Also, it's not your business, so it's easier for you to be a little more objective about it. And so I think you could definitely offer a website audit. And then if they choose to then redesign their website with you, you could offer that they use the entire value of that website audit towards the website design package. I love sharing client work that I've done. I really love showing the work that I've done just because I'm excited about it. And it really also is then your Instagram profile becomes a little bit of a mini portfolio, right? People can see your work right away. So I like putting those out there. I find that posts with my face and like with me in them um, usually get the most engagement. But 100%, I would say Instagram stories, just showing up and either showing like the back end of a project you're working on, if your client is okay with that, talking about why you do things the way you do, talking about what part of your process might be really unique to your business, or like why you do things the way they do. As an example, um, a lot of website designers have like a lot of people are worried that when they work with designers, it can drag on and take months together. But I really found that talking about like the fact that I have a firm start date and a firm end date helps me stay creative throughout our project. And it helps clients plan for other things, like plan when they're going to launch things and stuff like that. And so I think showing up on Instagram stories would be the thing that gets the most traction and the most response. I think design skills are definitely on the top, like they're up there, but it's definitely not the most important skill that you need. I think as a designer, you need to be able to also work on the strategy portion. So learn why you lay things out the way they are, how you can make it really effective. Um, while also bringing in that aesthetic value that you know your clients want. I think that's super effective. And then I don't know if this is a skill necessarily, but I think personal development is a big one. I found that money mindset was the thing that I constantly needed to work on as I grew the business. When I started out, I used to feel like I was ripping people off because and I was charging peanuts, but I felt like I was ripping people off because I enjoyed it so much. And it felt like, I really enjoy this. Should you really be paying me this much money to do something that I really enjoy? But working on my money mindset has allowed me to start charging more and see the value in the service, draw firm boundaries, and be like, this is who I want to work with. And yeah, so like I think personal development is a big part of that growth cycle. And I think if you continue to do that, as you start growing and you have new hurdles, or you have different things that you start to face, you will always know how to figure out a way around it or over it, because that's what you're used to doing. I just moved into website design full time, and so I'm still trying to figure out where I land with that. For a full year, I was doing a full time job and website design. So I would actually wake up 1 hour before work to do some design work, and then work a few hours after my job to do design work. So I knew like I was burning out, and I shouldn't have done that for as long as I did. But at the moment, it's very all over the place, is how I would put it. I wish I had a better answer, but it is kind of all over the place. I'm still figuring out what works. I'm still figuring out how to, I think because I went from like one extreme where I was doing a full time job and this, and so I was working like 10-hour, 12-hour, 13-hour days, to now being like, that's it. It's the whole day just for me to do this. um, I'm still trying to figure out like the sweet spot between making it feel like I'm not going insane. I don't take on too many projects at the same time. It's just one or two at the most. And so I have a really clear idea of when the deadline is and what I need to do on each day. And I think I've worked on enough websites now where I know what part of it takes how long. And so that part I've got figured out. And I just made a pact with myself when I moved into full time that I was just going to take Fridays off. So I only work Monday to Thursdays, which has been really, really good. I tend to work, I'd say about 5-ish hours every day. And then I take Fridays off, unless obviously I've taken a day off during the week because I just didn't feel like working that day. Yeah, so I would say then that I end up working about 20-ish hours a week. Um, and in regards to time off, Yes, if it's like we live in Calgary, so this it's not warm for long. It's like 3 months of the year. The warmth is compacted into these 3 months of the year, and so if I just want to take the dog out for a walk, or I feel like I want to binge on Friends or Seinfeld that day, I just let myself do whatever it feels like, because I've realized that that is a big part of me being able to keep the creative energy that I have. And so I definitely would like to find a more structured way to do things eventually. But for now, I am just letting how I feel dictated a little bit. It is like, it's completely different. It has made all the difference in the world for me. Before starting the course, I was in a 9 to 5 job. It's not like I wasn't in a job that I hated. So like that needs to be said. I really enjoyed what I was doing. I loved my colleagues. Um, but I was still looking for something creative that fit. And I've always been a big believer in, like, we spend so much of our time at work that if you can find something that you really enjoy doing and make a living out of it, um, by all means you should jump into it. When I was at that point of time, was skeptical about the fact that I would be able to make enough of money. And I think, again, a big part of it was the money mindset. I couldn't in my head believe that I could do something I enjoyed so much and make the same amount of money from a full-time job, if not much, much more. That that was like a little bit of a big hurdle to get over, but it is so different now. If I want to lay outside when it's warm and just do nothing but read a book in the middle of the day, I can. If I want to take the dog out for a walk, I can. If I want to just head to Starbucks and then window shop after that during the day, I can. And I think those are all things that come with flexibility, but I love being inspired by the clients that I work with every day. I get to work with women that, no matter what business they're running, whether they're a life coach or they're selling earrings or whatever it is, I get to see the back end of that. I get to see why they're passionate about what they do, and I get to be a part of helping them set that up. Um, which, like, I wouldn't have gotten in any other job. And so I'm so grateful to that. And I'm so grateful that I was able to take the course at a point in my life where it opened up so many opportunities and opened up that possibility that I could do something that I really liked and make a buttload of money and have so much purpose in my business. Yeah, it made all the difference for me. There's definitely a few things. I would say that there's no one way for everybody. I know when you're just starting out or when you're trying something new, you can want to emulate people that feel like they have it all, or you want to take the exact same path, and if you're not able to, it can feel frustrating. But it's different for everyone, and I would really encourage people to build your business around your lifestyle. Like, think about the lifestyle you want first and then build your business around it and make decisions accordingly, and build your business in a way where you get to show up as exactly yourself. If there's something that you don't like doing, or everybody says you have to do it this way but it feels kind of off or it doesn't fit for you, you don't have to do it. You don't have to do that. You can bring in the clients that you want to work with in so many different ways, and it's going to be really sustainable. And if you don't enjoy what you're doing, your clients are going to feel it. So find a way that really works for you, and know that no matter what path that is, you can make it work. Just put that, like, prioritize that as you grow your business. Oh, do it. 100% do it. I think if you've ever found any of Paige's stuff online, you know that she doesn't hold back when she shares knowledge. She is super open. She makes things really easy to understand. And I have taken other courses where, you still feel a little bit lost, especially if you're starting from, like, from knowing nothing. But both courses that I've taken, both Square Secrets and then Square Secrets, like the business version, she lays everything out in a way that's really organized. It is really easy to understand At no point of time do you feel like I have a dumb question I want to ask. Like, that is not a thing when you take one of the courses. There was a lot of support. She's always open to answering any questions. And I think it'll give you a really solid foundation. In a way, it's weird because it gives you a solid foundation without making you feel like this is the only way you're allowed to do it. I love that the course is just like, this is how I'm doing it, but it also allows you to be like, oh, I can tweak this a little bit to work for me. I've taken courses where sometimes I'm just like, I don't know what she's talking about because I have zero prior knowledge of it. But with both courses, I realized that she starts from the very basics, and so you're not stuck as the course goes further and further, or you don't feel kind of overwhelmed as the course goes further and further.
Amazing, right? I hope you found that video helpful, and thank you so much to Ayesha for sharing with us exactly how she hit that 10K milestone in her business. Now, if you want to do something similar to what Ayesha did, then I definitely invite you to join me inside of my Square Secrets and Square Secrets business courses, the courses which Ayesha took before she had this amazing success. You can join myself and over 3,000 students in the courses by heading to paigebrunton.com/courses. I'll link that for you here and also pop it in the description below for you too. So if you want to check out the courses and find out what all the big deal and rage is about, then head on over paigebrunton.com/courses. And remember, for the best tips on building a web design business that you love, be sure to subscribe to the channel and hit the little bell button so that you're notified when new content drops on the channel every single week. And finally, if you found this video helpful, I would so appreciate if you hit that like button because it greatly, greatly helps the channel. And if you're still looking for something else to watch, be sure to check out these videos too.